My God. Hey guys, welcome into another show with Out of Rhythm. I'm Jamie. That's Eli, and we got a new guy on the show today. We got Chad up in the corner over there. Welcome in, Chad.
The ghost. The
I
ghost of
couldn't
Christmas
believe
past here early.
I couldn't believe my eyes. God, he's
Yeah.
here. Here.
Oh,
Oh, celebration. Oh yes, yes, yes. All right,
yes.
boys. Got the pleasantries out of the way. What,
there,
what, what do you got there,
there we
Jay?
go. Oh,
Yeah, we got.
just tequila, man. And we got Chad up there with some Dr.
I got
Pepper.
the
Dr.
college
Pepper.
football sponsorship.
Yeah, I'll
All
allow
right,
it.
guys.
We're
Off we
going out.
go.
All right, salute. Mm. Oh, that's good.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's damn good.
Oh yeah.
Well, guys, it's another week down, and now we're on to week 13 of fantasy football season. So, any takeaways from the weekend?
You know what? Since I'm a nice guy, I'm gonna go first. All right, so Bucks shit the bed. I'll start with my guys. That was I mean, they were on the road, and Cleveland's a good 4-7. You know what I mean? They're not Texan bad. So, but that the way they pissed that game away at the end, they're lucky they play in the NFC South. I mean, that's any other division, the Bucks would be dead in the water. I liked what I saw from Mike White with the Jets. It's time to get that shovel ready. Time to bury Zach Wilson. He's done. He's done. He'll be backing up Justin Herbert in L.A. next year. Mark it down.
Oh shit.
Let me get a couple more here, guys. You guys can jump in. I called this a couple weeks ago, and it was a hot take then, but now I think the Giants are going to finish 9-8. I think they're going to tank. Their injuries are starting to pile up. Daniel Jones is starting to come back to the pack. I mean, Brian Dable, the coach, the new coach, he got as much as he could out of him. But let's just face it, Daniel Jones is not a franchise quarterback. He's average at best. So Giants are going to be. If there's one team that's going to miss the playoffs, to me, it's the Giants. I think Seattle gets in. I think the Cowboys, 49ers, all those kinds of teams get in. More shit show from the Broncos. Absolutely abysmal. That offense is a joke. I can't believe in 2022 when it's pretty much like touch football out there, pretty much, flag football. They've scored more. Jamie, they've scored more than in Chad. They've scored more than 20 points twice. How is it even possible? That's sitting like offensive football back 60 years. You know what I mean? Just terrible. Russ. I'm not going to bury him quite yet. I'll see what he does next year. He's going to be back. The contract's too big, but the coach got to go. I'd fire Hackett now. I'd stop pissing around. He's not the answer. Just terrible. I like what I saw from Jordan Love with the Packers. I put it down in the bottom of the scroll. Aaron Rodgers was saying on the Pat McAfee show today that he's going to be starting, or he plans to play Sunday against the Bears. Which is to be expected. I mean, they're still mathematically alive. We all know they're done, But he in his warped mind, he still thinks he can run the table, and he still thinks he's Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago. It's like, dude, give it up. Put Love in there. I liked what I saw from Love in that fourth quarter. He looked damn good. I think it's time to move off Raj. And Raiders. This might be something crazy, man, but I could see the Raiders right now they're 4-7. I could see the Raiders finishing like 8-9. I can see the Raiders having a hot end of the season, and then going into next year, if they keep things together, if Josh Jacobs is still with the team, because I know he's going to be a free agent, if they're able to re-sign him, Derek Carr, if they don't trade him, they keep Crosby and Adams and all the studs. I think the Raiders are going to be a surprise at the end of the season. I think they're going to be going up, and then I think the Giants will be going down. So they'll be heading in reverse. And I like that overtime win over Seattle. So those are some of my observations from the week. What do you guys have to say about that?
Go ahead, Chad.
I have to disagree with everything he just said.
What? Oh,
man. I'm hurt. The Giants one, that's probably the closest to being true, but 4 of their games are against the Commanders and Eagles, and it's the NFC East. Anything can happen.
4 losses, Chad. 4 losses.
Or 4 wins. We've seen it before with that division.
And the Commanders are actually
there's no way
playing
the
pretty
Raiders
well.
are running the table. I wouldn't be shocked if they only get one more win the rest of the way. They got the Patriots left on the schedule. The Steelers' defense looks amazing.
Keep going.
The 49ers' defense is stout.
That's 1 loss.
And then they're gonna get blown out by the Chiefs at the end of the season.
Chad, they're not gonna make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs, but I got them going 8-9. The only loss I see is San Francisco. I think they're going to knock off the Chiefs. And it's a hot take, man.
The Raiders?
Right? Yeah. Well, nobody ever. People are like, well, if this team does this, well, the Raiders are done. They're not getting in with 8-9. Like nobody. I think in the AFC you need 10 wins to get in. To be honest.
No, yeah.
We need 11.
I think they're on the upswing, so that next year they're competing with the Chargers, they're competing with the Chiefs, they're competing with Titans and Bengals. A lot of these other teams that'll be up there next year. I think the Raiders are going to be a playoff team next year, but they're kind of building in that direction. But no, I agree. There's a couple of games on there where it could. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And then I actually think what you think happens with the Raiders could happen with the Packers, who have a really soft schedule the rest of the way.
If they play Jordan Love, if they play Jordan Love, I
mean, it's Aaron Rodgers against the Bears.
Like, go ahead.
I know the first game was interesting, but Aaron Rodgers against the Bears, that's a foregone conclusion. The rematch with the Lions.
Dub.
And by that point, the Lions will be packing in for a quarterback.
Okay, 6-8. Keep going.
The Rams, who are going to be
7-8.
probably, and then
they're done. Rams. The shovel. Rams are done.
I have
the Dolphins.
Go ahead.
The Dolphins, that's probably too tough for them. That defense is just too stout. But then the Vikings, and it's going to get flexed to a primetime game, though.
7-10.
And
we all
know Kirk Cousins in primetime.
But if he's playing a Packers team that's mathematically done, you know what I mean? Like they're going to be getting ready for next season. And I called it. I looked dumb when they were 3-1 at the beginning of the year. I kind of looked dumb on that, but I told Jamie back in August, I'm like, the Packers would be 7-10. And that's probably what they're going to end up being. I think you got to go with Jordan Love either way. I think it's time to move off Raj. He doesn't do a lot of the quarterbackial things. Like in the offseason, you always talk about getting a rapport with your receivers or the new guys, young guys. Josh Allen's doing it.
David Bakhtiari.
Bakhtiari will be back. I liked it.
It's weird.
I like Jordan Love.
It's weird. The Packers are losing. I wouldn't even say it's because of Aaron Rodgers or the wide receiver. Just everything we thought we knew about them. Just for the defense looked great on paper. Gary looked like a stud. So many other players looked like they were promising young studs, and they've just been abysmal all year, and now hurt in many cases. And then A.J. Dillon's completely disappeared.
Yeah.
He might as well not even be on the roster anymore.
Yeah, I think it comes down to Rodgers. He's getting up there, he's getting old, and he likes being around people that been in the offense for however long. That's why he likes a lot of his. That's why he likes Cobbs. That's why he likes what's his name before
Lazard.
he got in. Lazard. Well, even before that, and what was the other guy?
Sammy Watkins.
No, not Sammy. The other guy before he quit. What was it? 87 or I'm trying to think of his name off.
Oh, Dubs.
No, not Dobbs. I'm talking about what I'm trying to get at is he liked his veteran wide receivers. What's his name before he retired? Not Crosby. McCaffrey.
Oh, Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson. Yeah. So he liked his older guys, which is why he was so comfortable in those situations where he knew where they were going to be because they've been in that style of offense for however long, and now him getting rookies in, a lot of those guys are gone. It's like he doesn't want to put that work in with new wide receivers.
Thank you. Yeah, no, he's lazy. Aaron Rodgers would rather do drugs. He's a damn hippie. He's a hippie.
That's my perspective, I guess, because with him, talking about these new rookies coming in that he doesn't really want to do a lot, or try to like get these guys on rapport with these guys. It's like, dude, a lot of the talk was like, do you go, even though they paid him this much money, it's kind of like, why would you bench somebody that you paid him that much for, Love, Jordan Love? It's like, why would you start Jordan Love over some guy you're paying like $1 million odd, that'd be just crazy,
Uh, yeah, on the surface, yeah, and from a business perspective, I totally get it. But in the long term, from like Love's got the good. I mean, the guy's 6'4", got a cannon arm. He's mobile. I mean, he's 24. He's still young. I mean, next year be 25 years old, stepping into his prime. I put him out there. Packers will be right back in the mix if they start him now. Let him take a few lumps here. Maybe finish 3-2, get to 7-10. I think it bodes well for the future. I'd eat the money. I know they don't have an owner like the other 31 teams, and they can't like Jerry Jones can just eat $50 million and not think anything about it. That's like a drop in the bucket to him. So I get they have to go up certain channels, and the public owns the team, but I'd eat the money. I'd let him go. He's going to end up with he'll end up with like the 49ers or Raiders, or he'll retire. That's
so.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's a question. So if he got traded, which team would you guys think he would end up being? What team would he go to if the Packers decided to go with Love? Where would you think he would land?
Raiders.
Chad? I can't hear your mic. Your mic's muted or something.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Raiders, 100%.
So
both
of
you guys heard the rumors with Brady. Yeah, they want Carr gone tomorrow.
Broncos.
Yeah.
What do you think? How would that work with Russ though? I mean, does Denver? They got the Walmart family that owns the team now. I mean, they got money up the ass. I mean, do you?
Yeah, I think he
mate with Russ after a year.
I don't know. Somebody was saying. I heard maybe the Buccaneers or maybe the Jets.
Yeah.
I don't think pass on CJ. Broncos this way are going to get CJ Stroud. I don't think they're going to pass on that.
Yeah. Buddy, you're just talking out your ass now. I don't think the Titans already got their QB for.
He's just naming random teams. Get out of here. He's just naming random
teams. The Titans got their future already. They drafted him.
The guy I want in Tampa is Lamar Jackson. If Baltimore is, I don't know why they're playing pussyfoot with him with the contract. I know he represents himself and his mom's his agent or something. So I know it's a little bit weird. I'd pay Lamar $50 million right now. I wouldn't piss around. I'd give this man a 5-6 year contract. Bring him to Tampa. We got the star power. Let Brady retire. If that's the direct, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I want Lamar Jackson. I want a guy that has that skill set. And I'm starting to get there with Jalen Hurts and guys like that too. It's like you want these young mobile guys that have that command the offense, that the team respects, that they're peers with these guys. They're not 40 years old, almost old enough to be these guys' dads like Brady and Rodgers. That's starting to be kind of become passé, man. It's just not the direction that they should be going. And with the Packers, definitely. I think Love. I think Rodgers ends up with I would say the Raiders. I think they might move off Derek Carr, which is kind of dumb, but Derek Carr is going to have a landing spot. He's still one of the top maybe 15 quarterbacks. Houston.
I don't know. I mean, Houston could pan out, but if Houston's got the number
follow
one
in
pick,
David's footsteps.
Caleb Williams from USC. He was the guy that followed Lincoln Riley over from Oklahoma last year. Caleb had a great year with OU last year. He's having a Heisman Trophy winning kind of season with USC. They're number 4 in the playoff rankings right now. Like Caleb Williams is the guy. If you want another Jalen Hurts, if you want another Lamar, this is the dude. And the Texans would be stupid passing him up. So if I'm the Lions, because the Bears already got Fields and Packers, see what they're going to do. I'm trying to think of like teams that are going to be 5-12, 4-13, 3-4, so somewhere in there that's going to have that. Like Texans would be dumb if they didn't take Caleb Williams. I know CJ Stroud, he's up there too. Stroud.
Yeah.
Texans are going to end up taking Bryce Young still. I think it's the dots have just been there the whole time. I know it's a terrible fit.
I think it is too. I think he's I think he's a poor man's Tua. I think he's undersized. I don't think he's got Tua's skills. I mean, Tua's super accurate. I know Bryce Young is putting up 70. He's putting up 70-something% in college. Yeah, I get that, but I don't see it translating to the NFL. I think Tua's more of a rare case, and we're seeing that.
Tua
he's more of a better Heineke.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Little bit. Yeah.
He's got a little bit of the scramble, a little bit of the arm.
Heineke's a gunslinger.
Grit.
Heineke's a gunslinger, though. He's in that Herbert, Brett Favre kind of mold. Just a bit.
He doesn't have the arm of those guys. That's the thing.
No, but the leadership and the moxie and just the I mean, how many years did Ryan Fitzpatrick, last in the league? He didn't have any.
Exactly.
He didn't have an arm. He didn't. But he had the command of the huddle, the trust of the team, trust of the coaches. So that means a lot.
Definitely. Yeah,
I could totally see them drafting Young and then signing Carter a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal, having a terrible season next year with Carr leading them, get more top guys to build around Young, and then going forward from there.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, that's very possible too. I mean, I know I was kind of digging into where we're kind of getting close to the end of the season, football season, and draft stuff is kind of coming around the corner, so it's going to be like, where are some of these guys going to be land? Is it logical for where a lot of these guys are going to be at? I mean, I want to see where C.J. Stroud goes. I mean, do the Panthers get another? Do the Panthers draft another guy? I mean, it's they might be getting off Darnold or Mayfield. I mean, they got Coral, but he got injured at the beginning of the season, so he was a straight just check. He wasn't there at all.
And there's the possibility that Coral was just a rule guy, and if he was a rule guy, he ain't going to be there very long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you and I were.
Yeah,
I know, Chad, I know. You and I were kind of talking a little bit before we hopped on a little bit about some of these guys and whatnot a little bit. And I mean, I'm kind of I kind of want to see where's more of these prospects where they might end up, where it might be logical for them to land. I mean, Houston doesn't have anything for wide receivers. For a rookie coming in, if it is Bryson or Bryce or whatever, if he does end up going down there, they have no wide receiver core down there at all. I mean, it's straight wash.
Exactly, but it's like they can't draft anything other than quarterback because they're going to be the number 1 pick. Kyle Allen is the worst quarterback of the last. I'd rather have Nathan Peterman out there right now than Kyle Allen.
No! Don't you say that! No, that's blasphemous. Nathan Peterman. I can't, Chad. I can't believe that man was in an NFL game on my eyes deceive me. I saw him out there against him. I was like, how is this possible? This is the same dude that threw 5 picks and a half. How do you? What I mean?
He threw the 5 picks, but he's still not scared to throw the ball. He'll keep slinging it.
Yeah. So then he ends up with 10 picks.
Kyle Allen will do absolutely nothing.
Maybe I'll go pick him up in a 20-man league or something. Get out of here, Nathan Peterman. Oh God.
So was there anything else, you guys, from this weekend that kind of caught your attention at all?
Trevor Lawrence. That was
Trevor
one
Lawrence,
of the greatest runs over 5 minutes I've ever seen. That last drive was just beautiful. Every pass was accurate. Every pass was where it needed to be. The Jaguars game.
Oh, Jaguars game. Yeah, that game was actually pretty impressive. I was kind of surprised that they came back and they took down. Can't remember. I was kind of watching the game, but I was doing some other stuff too.
He wasn't doing this. He wasn't doing this against the Texans or a shitty. I mean, the Ravens are a playoff team, man. I mean, he looked damn good. I thought at the beginning of the year, and I've looked kind of dumb on it, but I thought Trevor Lawrence would take that next step. I thought he'd become like a top 10 quarterback. And
I thought that
this is the game that does it for him 100%.
Maybe
level of confidence. The confidence has to be way up here after a game like that.
I would have to agree too. I mean, you would think after I would thought he would have been a little bit better this season. Coming in after getting actually a legit freaking coach. That he knows what he's doing. So I figured he would have been jump a little bit more of a leap this year. But I mean, it's kind of been mediocre. It's been 50-50.
When Urban Meyer doesn't do it for you.
Hot take here. I think Urban Meyer was fine as head coach on the field.
Well, he was too busy. He was too busy trying. He was too busy with fucking Ohio co-eds. Trying to get some booty on the side. Is what he was trying to do.
Everybody's like, "Oh, Urban Meyer's here. They should have won 9 games." People don't remember how bad they were the year before that. What was on the field with Urban Meyer was a freaking upgrade.
Even though it wasn't, even though he had Trevor Lawrence, they didn't do anything.
Elizabeth, Nathan Peterman's one thing, but Urban Meyer having a better team than Gus. Who's the coach before Urban Meyer?
I think it.
What the hell am I thinking of? Why? What?
Was it Marone?
Regardless, you're Doug Marone. Might have been. I think it was Doug Marone.
I think you were thinking of
Doug Marone's. Doug Marone's up there with the Matt Rules of worst coaches of all time. Him and Hacker.
They almost beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. No, Urban Meyer's the biggest scam in the history of football. He stole money from Jacksonville for 11 games. And Nathan Peterman, you're killing me. Elizabeth.
Crazy. No, I think Urban Meyer should have stayed in college. That's probably where.
I absolutely. The culture issues. It's never going to work out, but it's not like he had anything to like. Sure, Trevor Lawrence comes in as a rookie. There was nothing around him.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. I mean, Trevor Lawrence never had anything. I mean, he didn't have any. Of their running backs that they had now, they didn't have any of those guys. I think Robinson was the only guy they did have. They didn't have Christian Kirk. They had Zay Jones, I believe, last year. I mean, they didn't really have anybody to really boost their offense at all.
Zay Jones had a monster week. He was almost in my top 5 down there of week 12 PPR guys. Zay Jones has been playing good as of late. Christian Kirk obviously was tearing it up like the first half of the season. So I think Jacksonville they need to get. I think they need to get one or two guys on the offensive line. Maybe try to get another skill position guy. Another weapon. ETN, it's the injury yet on Sunday isn't as severe as they thought, so he might actually play again this week against the Lions. So, they got and I like that Darrell Henderson.
Hasty looks like a good fit.
Oh, go ahead, Chad. Sorry about what did you say, Chad?
Yeah. And even if he doesn't play, Hasty looks like a good enough fit in that offense that'll run.
He's a nice complimentary back, and I don't know how much Henderson has left in the tank, but Henderson, I didn't mind that signing because James Robinson has done dick with the Jets. I mean, they pretty much inactivated his ass, So that was the right call, letting him go. And I like this. This is another team like the Raiders that we'll see what they do. It's pretty much an elimination game on Sunday against the Lions. Let's just be frank. Loser of that game is done. So we'll see what Lawrence does with his back against the wall. If Jacksonville is going to be a playoff team next year and be a contender, which I think they can be, you start now. You take care of business. You beat teams like the Lions. You take care of the Texans. You take care of the Colts. You take care of teams you should beat, and then maybe Jacksonville ends up with 7 or 8 wins at the end of the year. Things are on the upswing. I like Doug Peterson.
I like him too.
Yeah, I think next year this is definitely a playoff. I think they could win that division. I don't see why they couldn't. The Colts are a dumpster fire.
The Titans will be done next year.
I don't think so. Titans are always kind of competitive.
If Malik Willis starts week 1, they'll be done next year.
Not with Vrabel's a damn good coach. They'll never be 5-12 bad. With
but they'll be like they'll be like 7-8 wins bad just because Willis won't be able to not polished
Maybe.
enough.
Yeah. No, but they'll run the ball. Like, go ahead, Jay.
I think the Titans. I mean, I like the fact that they got a different quarterback, and he's a little bit more of the dual threat kind of. I mean, if he needs to run, he can, and he's tall. He's a little bit taller too than Tannehill too, and I like the fact that he's a little bit younger and he can actually throw the ball down the field. Traylon Burks being there, so I think the Titans are kind of that main runner in that division. I don't see the Colts being that. I mean, Jaguars maybe if they're good next year, I could probably see that happening.
Yeah, and don't just discard Willis because of that bad performance. I mean, but they only asked him to throw like 12 times. He played the Chiefs, which is probably the best team in the league. I think they're better than Philly and Minnesota. So he was in a rough spot there. It'd be like 2 years ago if they put Jordan Love out there. He wasn't ready. Jordan Love would have looked like a scrub.
Absolutely.
So I think Willis is a project, which is I'm glad. I hope they. You know what? If Tannehill keeps playing like this, he might have earned himself another year, and then maybe 2024 you hand the keys over because he's not a Burrow, he's not a Herbert, a guy you hand the keys over day one. They knew Willis was a project when they took him, so I think Willis, to buy him another season, I'm all for that. I think Willis is the future, but as long as Tannehill is keeping them competitive and afloat, I keep sending him out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just worry about if he gets tried out there week 1. That line is not that good.
They're not. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, and that might be different.
And the pressure of being a division-winning team with that line and being that quarterback, it's just a bad mix.
Yeah, and
for the Jaguars, their window is very interesting because that defense is getting very not old but contract. Because a lot of those guys were from the Gus and the Doug Marrone era. They were because they drafted defense for years. Those guys' contracts are starting to come up soon. Yeah, they got to start winning before they have to start paying those guys.
Oh, I'd let them all go. I'd go offense. You know what? I would stack the hell out of the offense and then basically do what Kansas City does. I'm going to dare you. I'm going to dare you to score 35 and beat me. If I'm Jacksonville, that's how I build the team. I'm like, we got Lawrence, we got some weapons. ETN, the receivers, they're probably one receiver away, a tight end away, a little bit better than Evan Ingram. The hell with the defense. This is not a defensive league anymore. So I try to get where we're averaging 32, 33 points a game and basically be Kansas City East.
Yeah, for sure. And my other point too is, Malik came from, Liberty, and they're much of a smaller school too. They, they're not in these, they're not one of these double A, ACC,
Power 5, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he was playing at a smaller level, but yet he was being noticed. And that's, I like the fact that, these smaller schools are being a little bit more noticed now too, which, there's a lot of good talent in a lot of these smaller schools. I mean, look at, Josh Allen. He came from Wyoming. They weren't no powerhouse. And look what he's doing now in the NFL. I mean, look what he's doing with the Bills.
And Jay, it took Josh Allen a year and a half, maybe 2 years to really look like Josh Allen. His first year, he was terrible. So, I'm going to discard Zach Wilson because he's a terrible leader. He's immature. He reminds me a lot of Johnny Football. He's in that same size, same demeanor. Baker. A lot of these immature, micro-sized quarterbacks that I'm not a fan. But you know what? I haven't heard anything about Willis being a bad teammate. I didn't hear anything about him at Liberty. I mean, so, Josh Allen was a project. Drew Brees back in the day was a project. There have been projects that have turned out to be Hall of Fame level guys. So, like I said, you keep Tannehill in there. And you know what? He's like Garoppolo. He's a lot like Jimmy G. I mean, you should look at the Titans' record when they have anybody but Tannehill playing quarterback. And I've repped Tannehill, too, because I don't think,
I've repped him, too.
For that Titans team, though, he's the answer. He's the perfect quarterback for what they do. I don't think he'd be a great answer in Miami. I don't think he'd be a great answer in Kansas City. I don't be, even Minnesota or teams like that rely more on the quarterback. This is a run-heavy team. This is Derrick Henry, Hilliard, a lot of the guys they have. I like the Burks development. I like this Titans team. I know they lost the Bengals, but it was a close competitive game. I mean, I like this Titans team. I wouldn't want any part of them in the playoffs. especially
Yeah,
an
for
out,
sure.
you know, an outdoor, rainy, snowy, you know, cold, windy kind of, you know, get an outdoor kind of game. Go to Cincinnati, go to KC, you know, home game for Tennessee. Like I wouldn't want any part of this team.
Even if Malik doesn't work out, they could just move Henry to QB. Problem
Right,
solved.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Run the Wildcat.
You want to move a quarterback? There you go.
Yeah, I seen that where he it was Thursday night. Yeah, I mean I actually I had Henry that day, and I'm like I was in awe because he had like 28, 29 points that day. I was like, hell yeah, man! I was happy as a camper, man. But yeah, let's here's a couple other things here. I know we were just kind of bouncing around here a little bit, but what do you guys think about this?
Yeah, yes. About damn time, man. Oh shit. Oh, I grew up with Ricky Waters,
Yeah,
Cortez Kennedy, Joey Galloway. I remember all
yeah.
those Seahawks guys, man. This is outstanding.
What do you think, Chad? What do you
You
think
look
about them
speechless,
kind
Chad. I don't think. I think Chad's trying to process all this. He's like, oh my, I never thought this day would come. They get rid of Russ, which was probably the best move ever. and
We really want
rocking the Red
depends
Bull.
on what we're throwing back to. Are we throwing back to the we want the ball, we're going to score era, or are we throwing back further?
Oh man, I love dude. I wish they'd go back to them. I wish they'd go back to that logo. I wish they'd go back. You know, it's been enough time, and I think they've been successful with a lot of these new uniforms the last 20 years, but they look dumb. I'm not gonna. They look stupid. I don't like, especially I like the Matt Hasselbeck era. You know, the darker blue they had, but these ones they had with like Russ and Richard Sherman, like the last 10 years or so, I can't stand. I think they look retarded. I think they look like.
They're a little bit more neon, like, you know.
Yeah, it's just they're not. To me, it's not an NFL. I mean, that's like AAF kind of stuff. You know, it's just not.
Like me myself, I think I wouldn't mind like their new logo now, but change it back to the like regular like the retro colors. You know?
Yeah, I love those.
Keep the same stuff, keep the same logo, whatever, but just go back to their retro colors, you know what I mean? Or retro colors, but keep the same design and all that stuff. I like their new logo, but just change it up, the logo, you know, just change all that stuff up a little bit, you know.
I didn't know you liked the bottom, Chad. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice crash, Chrome.
While we were kind of talking about that, we were kind of mentioning college stuff. What do you guys think about since we were talking about the Panthers and stuff like that? What do you guys think about?
Oh, we're talking about Nebraska. He said it, and he said it again.
I'm gonna be sick.
I don't know. I know Nebraska hasn't been so great. I mean, I thought maybe with Scott Frost coming back that Nebraska was actually be a little bit better team, and that really didn't pan out. You know, I mean, they actually got the one legit Martinez, their one legit QB they had. He was like, I'm out of here, man.
I don't blame him. Shit show.
I actually liked watching him too, and now he's down with Kansas State, so it's kind of like. What did Nebraska have now? I mean, they signed him to an 8-year deal, so I'm kind of curious to see what Nebraska will maybe turn around a little bit, be a little bit better than what they were.
Over under 3 years. That's the most
I know it's
place on it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's going to take a little time.
I think you guys are forgetting. Okay, Carolina was a failure. We all acknowledge that.
It's not even that.
He was good at Baylor. He was a damn good coach at Baylor.
He's such a terrible fit for that conference.
Look, Baylor was
yeah, but the times. What did Bobby Dillon say? The times be a changing, Chad. I don't. Okay, he can't be any worse.
He's not a great recruiter either.
Well, I just seen something here. So there was a running back that just a running back here. Just he ended up he's going to go to Nebraska here. So I'm not sure. A pretty decent name guy. I just seen it here. I think it was a 3-star running back that wanted to go to Nebraska because Rule going to the Cornhuskers or something like that.
That's all they're going to be getting is 3 stars, maybe 2.
But no, yeah, I just seen this here and I was like, oh shit, maybe this, with Rule maybe going to. I mean, I know he did pretty good with Baylor, but I mean Baylor was he was our Big 12. Baylor was Big 12.
Yeah. I think
high scoring games, lots of action, lots of shootouts. That is not the Big Ten.
Okay. No, I think
I know.
I think
most
of. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I know a lot of like the Big Ten. They're more running, like the running, more of the powerhouse, running house, and that's where you get a lot of your running backs and stuff like that. The Big Ten was never really big for offensive, pretty much throwing passes and shit like that. But anyway,
I think it can work. I really do. Because it's something different in the conference. They don't, in Big 12, we think of 50 points a game. We think of like Texas, Texas Tech, K-State, TCU, Baylor, these high scoring offense, OU when they're right, Texas when they're right. And we think of Big 10, we think of like a 23-10 kind of, but times are changing. And who else were they going to get? They couldn't get Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell's the stud coach from Cincinnati. Obviously, Wisconsin right now at this point in time is a better program than Nebraska. So they weren't going to. If you're not going to get Luke Fickell, who's obviously in my opinion the best available coaching candidate out there, other than Urban Meyer. Okay, so other than Urban Meyer, or Luke Fickell, who else are you going to get? Matt Rules.
If you're Nebraska, you do it because there's no downside. Like you get notoriety, you get eyeballs on the program, and if it doesn't work out, it's because Matt Rule sucks, not because your program sucks.
Yeah, and Nebraska was kind of going downhill after a little while. I mean, you lost Martinez. I mean, he was their number one, but to me, he was their number one quarterback for that team to lead that team. They ended up losing one of their number one wide receivers back in the day when Martinez was there. He went to TCU. Never heard from him again. So Martinez was the guy to build around at that time. And he was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out of here. Now he's down in K-State, and he's tearing it up.
I think it's hilarious because now all these players that are jumping ship and heading. I mean, Kansas State's maybe a top 15 program right now, top 20. TCU is going to make the playoffs. So these two programs,
K-State's made the title game.
Yeah, Big 12 title game, K-State and TCU. That's going to be a great game. That's I should have put that in the bottom of the scroll, man. That's going to be must-watch television. Along with I think Michigan's going to stomp Purdue in the Big 10 title game. But definitely. And this is TCU's last test here. Now we're talking like Big 12. I think TCU handles business. They're locked now, but I think they stay at 3. If they win this, they stay at 3. Because you can't jump Michigan. Michigan has done too much. Can't jump Georgia. USC, if they win, they're going to get in. They win, the Pac-12. So I think the playoffs kind of stand pat. I think that TCU they had a tough game with K-State earlier, but we'll see what happens there. But Nebraska, you know what? It'll be interesting. At least they're interesting. At least they're not Vanderbilt. At least they're not NC State, like a Power 5 nobody cares about. Now it's like, we got Matt Rule. Same thing with UCLA. I mean, Chip Kelly's there. UCLA isn't winning 10, 11 games, but they've got an interesting coach. They've got a big name coach. At least makes them somewhat interesting so that we mention them. And other outlets mention Nebraska too, which is good. But I think Wisconsin gets the bigger home run because Luke Fickell is a top 10 coach to me. I mean, what he did at Cincinnati got them to a playoff. The kind of players he's going to bring there. I mean, there's a couple NFL players, from Cincinnati the last few years. So he knows what he's doing in a smaller school.
It's going to be a rocky start, though.
Well, he's got to fix it. I mean, they haven't. Wisconsin hasn't been Wisconsin. Probably what about 6-7 years.
Cincinnati this year was so senior heavy. You have to build up to that. It's going to take time to build to
Oh yeah,
Cincinnati, it wasn't just raw talent; it's coach talent.
no, I agree. But with the transfer
did-
portal now, he can get some of those guys to quick, like Lincoln Riley's doing
Absolutely.
at USC. Like Lincoln Riley's doing at USC, he can fix it quicker than a coach would have been able to do 10 years ago. So I think it'll be. I agree with you. It's going to take a season or two, but I think it's be quicker than people think. And he can fix it. I think Fickle's
And
great.
to tie this all together, I would be much more interested in the Matt Rule situation if he took Fickle's job. Cincinnati's heading to the Big 12. It would have been such a great fit.
Yeah, I agree. And I love Cincinnati's going to. I think the Big 12. People can say, well, they're losing OU, Texas. I think the Big 12 is going to be just fine. They're going to build these programs up because what the hell was West Virginia in the Big East 20 years ago? But they come to the Big 12, and they've been pretty relevant over the.
The only time
TCU was Mountain West. Now they're the playoff team.
Only time West Virginia was relevant was when they had Will Greer.
Yeah.
So
Greer and Gino
too.
Gino.
Let's not slander Pat White here.
Yeah,
but
they cranked out some quarterbacks there for.
Yeah, they did. But yeah. Well,
and the legend is Mark Bolger.
Yeah, Mark Bolger.
Well, guys, yes. Yeah, we're about 40 odd minutes on in.
Lots of football here, boys.
Yeah,
I like
we got good five. We've got some good 5 views. We kind of so it's kind of been bumping up a little bit. If some of you guys were any of you guys were just tuning in, we were just kind of recapping some of the NFL stuff. We were talking about some college stuff here and there a little bit. But yeah, I did drop our Discord link up in our comment section. So I mean, our Discord channel is actually open. It's pretty much got a lot of football stuff. I got some basketball stuff up in there, some NHL, and we got some spring football up in there for the XFL and USFL guys. When that comes around the corner. But yeah, if you like our,
it's gonna be so great when PJ Walker goes back.
Right? But yeah,
XFL MVP 2023, PJ Walker.
Yeah, we air Tuesdays and most on Fridays, but the last couple of Fridays we didn't. But some other stuff, we came arise. But yeah, if you like,
we'll be back this week. We promise. We promise we'll be back.
But yeah, if you like our stuff, just make sure you like and subscribe. Our Discord is open 24 hours. It's a growing process. We got maybe 20 some odd people in there. It's not really bouncing yet, but hopefully maybe next season it'll be a little bit more active. I got a bunch of channels in there for if you're into football, basketball, maybe a little hockey, but got a lot of different variety of stuff up in there. I think I got to downsize a little bit but I got a lot of stuff in there for right now. But it's a good place to communicate if you're an active football guy. If you're trades, just trade talk or even points talks or prospect talks, whatever you want to talk about.
If you just want to make fun of Jamie.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, I think
making those layups.
Yep. Oh, there was one other thing I was going to bring up here real quick before we should get into the red light district. So.
Ooh.
Yes. But yeah, I want to. We were mentioning. Did you guys see that Pacers game? I didn't see it. But
I saw highlights on ESPN. That was great.
I'm actually glad.
Halliburton, man, that kid's gonna be. He'll be Jason Tatum in a couple years. He'll be that next big superstar in the league. Halliburton's he's a stud. I'm sold.
I can't believe to see.
God.
I can't believe. I mean, I'm kind of glad to see the Lakers playing. Not really doing that hot, but for Lakers to be up by 17 points to blow that kind of lead, it's showing something.
Okay, Darvin Ham needs to go. He's not the answer at coach. LeBron's still playing at a high level, given his age. I think the supporting cast is what's letting him down. I think the coach, Westbrook, whatever you want to call him. I think Westbrook, and they were flirting with trading him to like the Spurs or a couple other options. So I think you ship Westbrook out at some point this year. Anthony Davis, I'd move off him. He's hurt. I know he's been playing decent so far, but move off him.
The problem is, you say the supporting cast sucks. LeBron's the GM.
Yeah, pretty much. Nope, I don't want this guy here.
All
Nope,
LeBron's
nope.
doing. He destroyed Cleveland. He made Miami terrible at the end. He made Cleveland terrible a second time.
I just shed a
He
tear
made the
and
Lakers
threw.
off.
You made me throw up in my mouth and shed a tear, Chad. That you would say this about the great LeBron James. What is this?
Worst
What is
GM
this?
in history.
Oh no, I think I think the guy should have his hands off everything involving bringing players, shipping players out, acquiring anything. Like he's a terrible GM. But being a player, LeBron is still top. I think he's still top 15. I think he's still a top 15 player. I think he's still.
When he gets gray hairs in his beard.
He's gonna look real good in that Rockets jersey in a year or two.
Just for men, boys. Just for men. He'll fix that. He'll be just fine.
What? All right. It is time for that time. I think it's that time already.
Oh yeah.
We got to get this. We got to get this segment in, and then we got to get into.
Just to sidetrack once, because basketball got me looking. The Pistons are a really bad basketball team, guys.
Well, don't tell that to Eli because he's a Pistons fan.
Sorry, Eli, but they are losing by 30 at the end of the third quarter.
Oh shit! Well, they don't have.
And they have 77 points. So that means the Knicks, the Knicks are beating them by 30 after three quarters.
Crazy.
See why I snapped my neck there, Chad? That's what's going to happen. I'm getting on a plane. I'm coming East Coast. I'm coming for you. You talk bad about the pit.
I am a Killian Hayes stan. I love the kid. Pete Cunningham's old news.
The Pistons got talent. They've been you'd think after a while like the Sixers did. Sixers, Astros, a lot of these teams that were bad for you that kept drafting and drafting.
Look at the Magic now.
Yeah,
that's where the Pistons are going to be.
Yeah, it's just like you think the Pistons eventually get this right. They've got so many players, but
all right. So we'll get into. So what we'll do is Eli, you do your stud, and I'll go to
making
Chad.
me sick. Detroit's making me sick. I'll tell you what's not making me sick though. That's the studs of the week. Do you hear me, boys? Studs. Garrett Wilson. Now we're seeing what this kid can do. Okay, we're seeing why the hype was real about him. You get Mike White in there who can actually distribute the ball that isn't terrible like Zach Wilson or washed up Joe Flacco. So I think this is to be expected. He's not going to put up 2 touchdowns every week, obviously, but I think the amount of targets is about what it's going to be going forward. Garrett Wilson, me and Jamie thought would be the number one receiver in New York this year, and now he's becoming that. He will be a future Pro Bowler. He's got that level of talent, and now that he's a better distributor. We're gonna see him take off. Go ahead, Jay.
I think he's with the different quarterback. I think he'll get there, and I was hoping he would have a lot more yards than expected for this year. But it's one of those things you just don't know. You just don't know how the year is going to go. And I had high hopes for him because him and Olave were pretty much high draft picks, and for Wilson to not really produce the way he should have, that kind of hurt a little bit.
Yeah. It was supposed to be Wilson and Olave, and then George Pickens too from Pittsburgh. Yep. Those were going to be like the big three. Yeah. Good to see. That's the first time I've got to give a shout out to Garrett Wilson this year, which is great. Rachaad White, another first timer with the studs. I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain. I think Lenny will eventually come back and take his attempts back, but Rachaad White is a nice complimentary back, and who knows? Maybe next year, let's say they move off Lenny. I think White could step in and be a feature back. I think he's got the goods. But yeah, it's the first time that we've kind of got to see him. Kind of in the right around that 20-point fantasy mark. I think he was about 19.8 or something. So yeah, a nice sign for him. And the Bucs if the Bucs are going to do anything, Brady's shot, his arm's shot. We still got Mike Evans, still got Godwin. Godwin had a monster game against the Browns, so still got weapons. But it's going to be that running game. And Tristan Wirfs, our stud offensive line, he's out. offensive lineman, so he'll be out for probably 3-4 games. So it's just kind of, I don't know. As a fan, I'm just thankful we're in our division because I mean we might be able to get in at 8-9. This is not a good football team. Lots of injuries. Brady's shot, so it's good. But it's good to give a shout out to the Bucs. And if it wasn't him, I would have said Chris Godwin.
Yeah, Godwin had a pretty good game. I have him in one league for sure.
Oh, what do you got for me, Jay?
That's not mine. That's all Chad.
Chad, Perrine, Darnold, DJ Moore, Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh my!
Start with Samaje Perine. The dude's a stud. Anytime he's like Alexander Madison. Anytime he comes in for the better running back, he just puts up points and points and points. He's the perfect complementary back that they just keep in gift wrap for whenever they have to unleash him. And Mixon, this isn't the first, second, or even third concussion he's had. I would not be shocked if he's out another week, maybe even 2 more weeks. Yeah, and as long as he is, Perine's just going to continue to feast while defenses deal with the returning Chase, Boyd, Higgins. Heck, Hayden Hurst sometimes does stuff.
Yeah,
it's just
I think
beautiful fit.
Yeah, I think Mixon. It sounds like Mixon might be out this week, but it's not confirmed quite yet.
It's not confirmed yet. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked, especially since they don't need him.
Yeah.
From what I saw from the injury report, he's still questionable, but I would err on the side of caution, and I would say, unless we hear otherwise, start Perrine again.
Yep. Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And then with DJ Moore is back on the menu, boys. With Sam Darnold.
You think so, huh? Do you think so?
He's at least rosterable again.
Where's my pitchfork?
Start.
Yeah,
I want to call out Eli here. He said that Sam Darnold was done. He said he was seeing ghosts.
He is.
And then he played the Broncos defense, and not only did he see no ghosts, he never even hit the turf.
Oh.
He looked. He didn't do a lot. It wasn't a lot. 11 of 19 for 100 and some odd yards. But it was a polished, quiet game. A confidence builder.
Chad, I don't get out of character a lot for these segments here, but I will for this time because this is of most importance. Once PJ Walker's healthy, Darnold's going right back to the bench. That's what's going to happen.
Chance.
That's what's going to happen. Everybody looks good against the Broncos.
And here's the thing: the Panthers' next 3 games, they get the Seahawks, 24th against the pass, the Steelers, 28th against the pass, and the Lions, 27th against the pass. Darnold's just going to keep looking good. They're going to see no reason to go back to Walker.
Well, that is a good. I mean, for those last few games, that's very capable of him actually maybe getting another touchdown in there. He had 4 total 4 touchdowns in his in the last couple of years or whatever it is. So maybe he might get 5 or 6 than he is intended. I mean, he's only had 200-yard games. He had one for 152 in this last week. So I mean, he's borderline.
For me, if I see Sam Darnold out there, I'm grabbing him if I have a shaky quarterback situation.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's because we're going into the playoffs now. I mean, this is the last week for some leagues.
Yep.
Next week's the last one for a lot of leagues as well.
Yep.
That may be the best QB matchup there is in the league right now.
Yeah, I would have to
trio of teams.
Yeah,
so if you have a Stafford or something, I'd start Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys need,
I'd start Darnold over Brady.
No!
Oh!
3 strikes, you're out. No, one thing. No, don't do this, Chad. No.
No, I mean, if Darnold's going to play, especially with these next few games, if the matchup's perfect, why not? I mean, it makes both.
DJ Moore is good. Deonta Foreman's looked not Deonta Foreman the entire time he's been the starter.
Yeah. Well, I think it just varies, but
Who's to say
I
he's
just
not?
think,
Who's to say he's not Cordero though? I mean, Cordero Patterson was obscure for years, and he took off in Atlanta. Maybe Foreman, maybe in Carolina, there's a resurgence, and he becomes this top 15 back, maybe
yeah,
top
for
10.
sure.
It's not out of the question. He's looked damn good. Hubbard, has been kind of the receiving back, backup, and
Hubbard just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be there.
He's a complimentary guy. He's not anything special, but Foreman's got something.
The issue with Foreman, I get where you're going with the Cordero Patterson, but Patterson came in with such a high pedigree. It was more he was just
Zach Wilson
being misused.
Crazy.
I got that quarterback class so wrong.
It's okay. It's okay. We all did.
I mean, everyone did. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, my couple studs is Mike White and T. Higgins. I mean, it's T. Higgins. He's kind of been coming in and just kind of taking over where Chase hasn't been. They're able to pass the ball to him. He's capable of just filling in Chase's shoes when he's not there. So I mean, I like the fact that Higgins is kind of a monster. I mean, I think he's in. If I was looking at season wise, he's actually up there in the top 10 for yardage, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's number 8. I think he's number 8 or 9.
Yeah, and I was just looking at them this morning here too, and I'm kind of surprised because in one league I actually got both Higgins and Chase in our 12-man, and so it's just kind of like, well, sorry, Chase is on the bench, and I still got T. Higgins. So I mean, it's great, and to see Mike White come in and just toss 3 touchdowns in the rain, fucking amazing, man. It goes to show what kind of tempered expectations to have when it comes to QBs and whatnot. With the Jets want to win. They're shooting for a playoff, and and maybe they made the right move. Maybe is Mike White going to be it sounds like he's going to be the guy for the remainder of the season. But do you think the Jets will make playoffs?
I think. I'll get to that. I'll let Chad jump in. To start off, I need a bigger sample size, but what I've seen, I saw Mike White last year. I forget who they played. It might have been Washington. I remember him coming in and he won a game, did a similar, not 315 and 3 touchdowns, obviously, but this isn't a fluky thing. I mean, I think he can kind of keep that, maybe Jimmy G level, 220, 2 touchdowns. If he can play like that with that defense, and with the moxie they have, and with the young players, obviously it'd be nice to have Breece Hall. I mean, that'd make life a lot easier if Breece was in there. But Michael Carter's been solid, and I like that the Knight kid that I saw. He had a nice game on. I'll see what he can do going forward as well. But Garrett Wilson emerging, maybe Elijah Moore. I don't know. Maybe he'll come back from the dead.
Maybe, yeah.
Get something out of him. I like Conklin tight end. So they've got potential there. God, it's so hard, man. It's so stacked in the AFC. That's what I was saying with, I think it's going to take 10 wins to get in at least.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, you know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to say the Jets get in. Jets will get a wild card. Jets will make the playoff. I think they'll be the 7 seed.
Cautionary tale about Mike White. He came in against the Patriots last year and had a fine game, 220 yards.
That's probably what I was thinking.
Not great, actually. Then he went and faced the Bengals the following week and dumped 400 yards on them, and that's when everyone thought Mike White was God.
Yeah, I think I remember that too. Ended
with a 0-touchdown, 4-pick performance against the Bills. He faces the Vikings this week and those very same Bills next week.
You got to think about it. Bill
very careful how much you invest in him.
And I guess it all depends too. 10 to 12 man leagues, probably not. Maybe the 14, 16. The deeper leagues, probably.
16. I'm on him. I'm on him. I got
backup upgrade, and he's a great super flex. Like if he's on waivers and super flex, grab him.
Right now, so me and Jamie, the 16-man league, like I'm 6-6, man. I have to win out to even have a chance. So I got a Kyler Murray bye. I'm debating Mike White and Andy Dalton right now. So I'm in that.
Oh, That's a
I mean,
no-brainer then. That's...
I'm in that situation too. So Mike White, he might have to carry some teams. I mean, whether it be injury, you got like you said, Matt Stafford, or you got buys like Murray or whoever. He's gonna have to carry some. He's got to carry the load. Or Aaron Rodgers, week 14.
This week should be fine. The Vikings defense is hit or miss. That Bills matchup.
That's
I'm not saying this as a Bills fan. That is a terrifying matchup for any quarterback right now.
I'm telling you, if he can play, if he can avoid last year, like shit in the bed performance against the Bills, then he's legit. If he can go out and maybe beat the Vikings, or at least be competitive, put up like 250 and 2 touchdowns, and then be competitive, and I don't think they're going to beat the Bills, but if he can kind of hang in there, then he's legit. Then it's like, this is our guy. The hell with Zach Wilson, and just get out of here. Get out of here. Is it duds time? Is it time for some duds? Huh?
I think so.
Knock. Who's there? Damian Pierce. He's disappeared the last couple weeks. Where's he been? This is how I know. They probably told him, like, hey, dude, you've been tearing it up. You're probably rookie of the year, but you got to scale it back. See, we got to lose out. Okay, we got to go 115-1 so we get that number 1 pick. So we need you to kind of, you're going to hurt some fantasy owners here, but we need you to scale it back a little bit.
Look who's here.
We'll take Donovan, potential ceiling over. Yeah, no, I agree. Sam Darnold is what he is. I think he can be a good back. I think Baker Mayfield's an analyst. Okay, I think Baker Mayfield needs to get the hell out of the league.
I was actually going to circle back to that when we talked jokes about PJ Walker. I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's just going to be Baker Mayfield, XFL MVP.
Yeah, or that if this clown wants to keep playing, he'll be in the XFL too. But Damian Pierce kind of been disappearing the last couple weeks. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory or if
locked
he's
in
just
Kyle Allen's basement.
Yeah, and then with Russ, this is probably like the 3rd or 4th time I've called him a dud. I'll do it again. I had this, you know how stupid I look, huh? You know how ridiculous I look. I had this man in the MVP conversation. In fact, I had him winning the MVP. I had the Broncos. Yeah, exactly. I had the Broncos, I think, going 11-6 or 12-5. I look retarded. How
much of that tequila did you have?
I flossed off the whole bottle. I don't know what I was on that day. I don't know if it was edibles, bath salts, whatever I was on. I'm telling you, this guy, he needs a new offensive coordinator, coach, something, because he looks like a train wreck. I mean, this looks like, and the other pundits across the big networks have been saying the same shit. This looks like one of the worst contracts since Albert Hainsworth. This is abysmal. He looks awful. He's over, can't complete basic throws. What is he, Zach Wilson? I don't know what you guys think about Russ. I mean, I've had enough of Russ. Russ, get out of here.
You know what? You know what's crazy? What's crazy is I actually started Russ. He had more points than fucking Andy Dalton.
Go figure.
Go fucking figure. And I was kind of in awe. I was like, I think he had 1 or 2 points more than freaking Andy Dalton. And I was like, oh my God. I honestly, I couldn't fucking believe it.
You know what I can't believe? I can't believe is the fact that Donovan is onto something here. There's going to be a Reggie Bush and Baker Mayfield Wendy's commercial. Just you watch. The 5-piece McChickens or the chicken nuggets or whatever the hell they have. They got the Baconator. They'll be promoting something. Breakfast. I love it.
You guys already got the perfect commercial, because he's gonna have no money left at this rate, losing jobs this fast. He's actually gonna be living in the stadium.
Right? It's clever. I like that.
Wow. Yeah, we're actually getting ourselves a nice viewing here, man. We got we got about 9 people viewing our stream right now. So we appreciate.
That's because big ticket's on. That's because Chad's on. I
hyped it up.
It's the Chad effect.
Jamie left a name off this list, unfortunately.
Well, hey,
so I'm going to bring it up because it's going to make Eli sad. The instant he asked me who my duds were, I said Mike Evans.
Oh!
It's not because Mike Evans is bad. It pretty much has nothing to do with Mike Evans. That offense is such a dysfunctional mess week in and week out.
Offensive line's terrible. Brady's done. He's done.
You just don't know who's going to be the lion's share of the targets week in and week out. You don't know who's going to get the few plays that actually work.
But
and this week it wasn't Mike Evans. He had 2 catches.
Even though even though Evans is elite, you're still going to play him no matter what. I mean, if he's going to have another down game like he did this week, then a lot of people are not going to be benching him just because of one bad game. But yeah, it was not good though either way.
Yeah, you got to ride it out with a guy like Mike Evans. I mean, you look, if he goes out, we were in that boat with Keenan Allen. I guarantee all of us that have Keenan Allen on some kind of team, that situation where, Mike Evans he's too good to bench. If Mike Evans is healthy, you have to put him out there. Yeah. If Keenan Allen's healthy, you have to put him out. There's just certain guys that I know they have a bad week or they're nursing a hamstring, whatever, but you end up looking. Absolutely. You have to play.
I have slid him down to my flex though.
Yeah, that's fine.
If I had like a Deonta Foreman though, I'm starting to think about that depending on the matchup.
Yeah, there you go, Jay. There you go.
Like the Bucks have to face I forgot who it was, but it was not a good matchup. The 49ers next week.
Why you gotta bring that up? Why do you gotta? No, the Saints this week, but yeah, coming up we got the 9. But why you gotta bring that up?
Mike Evans historically feasts against the Saints. I'm not worried about that, even though the Saints defense is really good.
Yep. So you got a couple other duds in here. You got Curtis Samuel and
I got a literal dud. We talk about Damian Pierce locked in Kyle Allen's basement. I'm not sure Curtis Samuel's still alive. Taylor Heineke might have murdered the guy and buried him at FedEx Field.
He got that golden shovel out. Yep.
He's 6 feet deep.
0 targets. 2 in the last 2 weeks. He's running the ball more than he's running routes.
That is kind of crazy because in the early.
And their next 3 games are the Giants twice and the 49ers. He's done. He's useless.
So, and this is something we can get into, and we'll get into our waivers here in like a couple minutes here. But yeah, it's, Curtis Samuel, I mean, even though he's kind of been up and down here a little bit, and he's
it was a fun ride.
Yeah, he was a good flex, pretty much a good flex for most people if you still had him. And I don't know, maybe this was a fluke game, maybe not. It's really hard saying. I mean, Heineke's not really
the targets have just been nosediving since Heineke took over.
They've all been going to Antonio Gibson, which has been good for me in my 16-man team. Gibson's been getting a lot of the targets. So in Heineke, he's a better leader, but he's not quite the level of passer Carson Wentz is. So a lot of those receivers that were putting up big numbers early in the year, him and the young rookie who slips my name.
Well, obviously, Dotson just came back from
Dotson before he got hurt was. Yeah, before he got hurt, Dotson was having
all and that's hurting Samuel too.
Yeah,
and too many people there.
Yeah, and Dotson, Dotson's kind of fallen off. I mean, I've had a lot of I've drafted a lot of Dotson, and I've actually dropped him. So I mean, Dotson's, I'm sure he's not really rostered in a lot of leagues right now. I mean, because I actually forgot he was in one of my lineups, and he actually gave me 0, and I was like, oh shit, dude. So,
Dotson is a stash for me. If you watch the games, he's been making big plays, and he's just makes a big catch but gets hit hard and the ball pops out, or his foot lands on the line, or it's a massive pass interference play. So he looks the part, and it's going to come together eventually.
Yeah.
That's what they said about me, Chad, when I was 5, but it never came together. So,
and then the last guy is Diamond Peoples-Jones, who's just fallen apart.
Well, I don't think I don't think he's quite fallen apart. I mean, he's still. He's
Browns. Everyone's a mess. Kareem Hunt's been useless too.
Yeah,
for a while now.
Yeah,
but now Deshaun Watson's back. I will not touch anyone but Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb until we see this offense going forward.
I think
it's a completely different offense.
From what I heard, I don't think the offense is going to change way too much. I mean, it sounds like from what I was hearing that Watson was kind of involved with the team, just getting team reps and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. And Watson's just so much of an improviser by nature that just the style is just going to be so much different from Brissett. Because
Yeah,
Brissett doesn't have the pure athleticism to make those kind of plays.
I think that
I think it's a big boon for Njoku because Watson loves a big physical receiver.
Donovan, I've had it 3 times. Don't you worry.
oh, hey, I think Peoples Jones. I think Peoples Jones is still
He'll
going to
be fine in the long run. I just don't like him. Didn't like him this past week because of the dud. I wouldn't touch him this week.
I played him in a few league. I played him in a league where I actually had to play him, and he got me 10 points. But either way, I mean he's one of those guys. He's kind of more of a boomer bust. There's going to be one game where he gets you a touchdown in 80 yards, and maybe the next game he'll get you 40 and couple
Well,
5,
he had
6
a
catches.
streak of 6 or 7 games in a row where he had at least 10 points.
So
this
I mean,
was the first time that broke.
Yeah, so it's not like he's a.
It's not Curtis Samuel dud. It's more of a murky situation dud.
Yeah, I think you if you still got him on your roster, you maybe if you got somebody better than him, leave him on the bench for the week, see what he does, then maybe the next week after that.
Well, yeah, he's nowhere near a drop. He is way too talented for that.
Yeah.
And in Dynasty, the sky's the limit for the kid.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some QBs here. Watson's available in a bunch of leagues, probably some leagues yet. Mike White, maybe Kenny Pickett out there. I don't know. What do you guys think about Jordan Love? And
I think I would hold off on Love because playoffs are coming up. These especially in leagues that don't have as many bench players. Whatever that is, situation. I think these roster spots are too valuable, and I think you can wait a week because Green Bay Rodgers. I'll believe him because they're playing a bad Bears team. They'll probably win that game with Rodgers, even if he's somewhat hurt. We've got a bye week coming up, so it would be at least probably week 15 before you would even see Jordan Love. Okay, hypothetically. And coming back from that, they might still mathematically be in. So maybe week 16, you know what I mean? And at that point, you're already balls deep in the playoffs in your fantasy league. So I was on board too because I'm like, okay, this kid's gonna get in there. But it looks like Rodgers playing Sunday. They got a bye after that. So week 15 at the earliest, which is the first week for a lot of different playoff.
Even then, there's no rush because everyone thinks the offense sucks. Everyone thinks that offense sucks. No one's gonna run. Jordan Love's starting this week. Cool. No one's gonna. If you're smart, you get him, but no one's gonna be clamoring for him in many leagues. So he's gonna be there if you want him.
I agree. I think that the better play, and I'm considering myself. I don't know what Jamie's situation with his 12-man teams are, but in the 12-man we do with my brother, I've got Murray who's on a bye. Got Tom Brady. Definitely. Considering the option of upgrading from Brady, I'm not going to lie. He that would have been unthinkable, beginning of the year. But now it's like, okay, well, maybe you kick the tires on Mike White. Maybe you kick the tires on Deshaun just to see what Deshaun's got. Because, I mean, we forget because he's been out, almost 2 years. Like, the guy was the leading passer in 2020 in the NFL. It wasn't Mahomes. It wasn't Allen. It wasn't Herbert. It wasn't any of these guys. It wasn't Rodgers. It was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, sure, it was.
The last time we saw him, this guy was a top 5 quarterback. So I know that Texans
so good. Jalen Hurts almost didn't become a thing. That's how good Watson was.
Yeah, it is.
And Philly almost went with him over Hurts. Miami almost went with him over Tua.
Absolutely, and these guys are in the goddamn MVP
these guys
conversation.
They're, I believe, number 2 and 3 quarterback right now.
These are Pro Bowl level guys now, but they wanted this guy over these two. You know what I mean? Because Deshaun's got every skill known to man. He's a 5-tool quarterback. That's why the Browns.
What's on a name Jamie brought up though? Kenny Pickett, I have over Josh Allen, over Lamar, over Hurts rest of the season.
Oh shit! Really?
It's probably not going to work out. I'm probably wrong because Josh Allen's floor is so high.
I think I have a stroke going on the left side of my face from this. What is
The
what is
Steelers'
this?
face.
Kenny Pickett? No.
The Falcons, the Ravens,
Quote the Raven nevermore.
the Raiders, the Browns, and the Panthers, all bottom pass defenses.
That actually
And
is
the Ravens non-existent pass defense.
And that's actually a pretty good schedule right
and
there.
And now
too.
Najee Harris is injured.
But, you know,
I would be surprised if Pickett throws for 400 yards against the Ravens.
Hey, that's actually, you never know though, man. I mean,
I would be surprised if Zach Wilson
no,
threw 400 yards against that team.
Pickett's one thing, but you start talking about Zach Wilson, you lose.
So if Deshaun Watson's out, do you guys go out there and pick him up?
Absolutely.
I'm indifferent because I always draft Jalen Hurts, so I never have to consider it, or I steal him from Eli.
What about Mike White, guys?
Oh wait, one second. Chad, are you two a time?
Yep.
You are okay. Yeah. See, we got to talk about this because at the time it wasn't a fair trade at the time. It just things just kind of, and we're okay. You're gonna make the playoffs, and maybe I sneak in too. But no, at the time it was a fair trade.
Oh yeah, it absolutely was. And then James Robinson sucked.
Yeah, but nobody could have saw that. I mean, Etienne had been hurt all last year. He didn't do much the first couple games.
Oh, yeah,
so at the time, Robinson looked like he was going to be the feature back. And Josh ended up trading me Gibson for him, which I appreciated. But in Dawson Knox, it was supposed to be a top 10 tight end this year. And I mean, Kyler has got.
Yeah, that turned into a wash because Higbee's fallen apart since then.
Higbee fell apart. So I think it was, I think it worked out for both. And you can't blame it all on Jalen Hurts. It's just one guy on my team. I mean, I had a bunch of other injuries, but like I said, it is what it is. I mean, I thought at the time
I didn't need the other guy, so it was just I got Jalen Hurts instead of Kyler Murray, so it was great for me.
Yeah, no, I think it worked.
I'm in the camp, and this isn't based on stat. Well, it's a little based on stats, but this might be the most wild claim. I don't think Kyler's an NFL caliber quarterback.
Okay. Now we're no. If you want to say,
I think he's an NFL caliber athlete. I don't think he's got it all together. I don't think he ever will.
I think it's the coach. I think Kingsbury's awful. I don't know why the hell they gave that guy the job.
That is too.
Kingsbury, I'd love to see. Because it's such a dumpster fire, and Kyler's kind of like Raj. You know what I mean? He's kind of like Rodgers, where he's kind of snarky and he's kind of condescending. I get he's got those personality traits. I get it, but the guy can move with his feet. He's accurate. I know he's pint size. He's 5'10" or whatever, but you get him with a Sean Payton, who's if they were lucky enough that he accepted that job. I mean, Sean Payton with Kyler Murray. A healthy, locked-in Kyler Murray, that's MVP written all over it. But mark it down. Sean Payton's there. Kyler Murray will be in the MVP conversation next year. You damn right. But I think he'll take the Chargers job, to be honest. But because Staley's a hack. He can't coach either. You're entitled. You're entitled to feel that way.
NFL caliber might be a bit of a reach. I think he's a bottom 15. In real life, not fantasy. In real life, I don't think he could win when it matters. And part of that's the pieces around him. Part of that's the coaching. I just don't think he's got. And part of it's the person. The big part's the personality. I think he doesn't have that grit that you see out of Hurts. That you see out of Josh Allen late in football games. He just kind of. Will. Yeah,
but like with me, I get seduced. He's on both. He's on my 12-man, and we do with my brother too. He seduces you with his talent. He seduces you because hypothetically, he should be better than Jalen Hurts. He should be better than Tua. He should be better. Kind of his comps. Similar, smaller. Athletic, accurate guy. He should be the best of those three, but he's not. And it's I agree.
He's basically what we hope Bryce Young will be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
kind of in the
same comparison.
Same vein, 6 foot, 6 foot. accurate quarterback. Yeah. There's been a lot of those guys. Russ.
But Nuck's not going to be
One
there
of those guys.
much longer. And then once he's gone, I think Hollywood Brown's a bum.
I don't. I liked him in Baltimore. I thought it was dumb getting rid. I don't know if he had a clash with Lamar or what happened, or he wanted more money or what the deal was. But I thought he did damn good in Baltimore. You could say whatever.
Sure.
But then if that's the case, then you have a personality like that and a personality like Kyler's on the same team.
No, it's I fully agree. The locker room is toxic, but I don't think that it's what's that word I'm looking for? Deplorable. I don't think that it's irredeemable situation. I think they can. You got a Sean
fixable.
Sean Payton can fix this whole thing.
The window is closing real quick on it.
I'm not selling my Kyler Murray stock quite yet because I think if Kingsbury's still the coach next year, or they bring in another guy who they bring in a Hackett, or they bring in just a guy that can't cut the mustard, then I move. I'm like, okay, there's no help.
Kyler for me is where I would draft Kyler where Tua and Hurts was going this year, as like an anchor to Lamar.
Yeah,
he probably doesn't fall that low because people will overpay for the upside. But he's the perfect backup to
because the upside is so high, and that's why I guarantee there'll be somebody trading for Zach Wilson this offseason because they're going to be like, I can fix this kid. He's got a huge arm. He doesn't have a lot of the intangible. There's going to be somebody seduced by Kyler Murray because
we might not see that because no one wanted to give Josh Rosen a chance when Kyler came in.
Josh Rosen, he'll be a backup in the XFL this year. That's what that bum will be doing.
Anyways,
Josh Rosen, Zach Wilson, similar attributes.
Crazy.
It wouldn't shock me if Zach Wilson doesn't get another shot. Especially when we talk about the personality, and if he doesn't get over the yips, he's definitely never getting another shot.
Okay, so what do you guys think about Jared Goff? Yes or no?
I love him. I don't know if I love him enough anymore. I thought he was a top 5 QB this season for a while, and he was for a while. In fact, I said he was going to be the number 1 pocket passer at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think it depends on who you've got. I think it depends if you've got a bye. If you've got, I'll give an example. Let's say that you have Tannehill as your, let's say he's your starter, like your 16-man, 12-man, whatever. I would start Jared Goff over Tannehill this week against Jacksonville for sure. I don't know about going forward, but yeah, if Goff is available, go snag him up. He can't. He's at least good enough to be on somebody's bench. I mean, he should not be a free agent at this point. I agree. He should not be a free agent.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of gets
he didn't have a great next 3 weeks, but championship week he's got a pretty solid matchup. So he's perfect as a bench guy. But I wanted to actually check something real quick. Give me a sec, guys.
Yeah, that's not a problem. But yeah,
I just want to see where Goff is now.
Yeah, just kind of recap real quick. Watson's out there. Mike White, Pickett, maybe pick up Love, but hold on him. And if Jared Goff is out there, snag him up if you need the help for this week. While he's looking up that, then we'll
go one step further. Goff is a pickup and start. Okay, some of these other guys, let's see a bigger sample size with Mike White. I think he deserves to be on somebody's bench at this point after that game.
Yeah.
Deshaun, maybe, because they're playing a bad Texans team. Maybe you can plug and play right away. But Goff, pick up and you can
Goff, we know he can go for 450 yards. He does it 3-4 times a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
You balance it with the risk that it's one of those weeks where he throws for 140 yards.
Yep.
And the offense goes nowhere. But
Exactly.
There's never a 450-yard passer just chilling out there.
All right. Let's. Did you find your thing you were looking for there?
He's fallen way off. He's actually fallen behind Brady.
Oh, Goff?
He's right around QB 15. Yeah.
So I mean, he's still in the top 15.
That's definitely still roster. That should not be on any waivers at QB 15.
But he's still out there though. It's crazy. I was looking, especially in 12-man, he was still out there. He was still available on a lot of teams. It all depends too. I mean, ESPN might be a little bit different.
And he's gaining weapons.
Yeah.
We are
well-
inching closer to, and I know Eli's big on Garrett Wilson, but
Yes.
the true number one wide receiver from this class, Jameson Williams.
Yep.
If he ever gets
Not
on the
looking
field.
likely. It's not looking likely this week, but it's looking, I'd say, 60-70% for next week.
Yeah, it sounds like it's getting to be super close. I mean, I know him. There was a chance he might play this weekend. If not, it's more likely next week.
I think. Well, let me get this point in quick, Jay. Then we can jump to receivers. I think, and because Jameson Williams, somebody might have cut bait with him. You never know. I mean, some people get impatient. I mean, maybe somebody drafted him as like, okay, he's not going to play this year. I think if Detroit beats Jacksonville, goes to 5-7, and they're still mathematically alive, I think you have to find any possible way to get Jameson Williams on the field. You have to your fan base, to your team, because you know what, the Lions, who knows? I mean, maybe they end up now. I had them 9-8, and maybe they still might be. Maybe
I had
they
them
can
winning the division.
Yeah,
so
he
thought I was an idiot.
Yeah, so some of these things are coming around for us, Chad.
We both knew the Packers were going to be garbage.
Yeah, I thought they were dog shit. Yeah, exactly.
I thought Justin Fields was done. That part I got wrong. The Bears being garbage, I didn't get wrong.
I had high hopes for.
I don't think anyone
Jeff.
saw Kirk Cousins MVP candidate.
I think there's better. I think there's better.
No.
But
but he's gonna be on the card somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he will be. That's wide receivers here. There's Mike Collins, Richie James, Elijah Moore, Zay Jones, 26% rostered. What do you guys?
We can ignore Richie James.
The
the Giants. It's just a carousel.
Giants is fool's gold, guys. They are how stocks decline. I got a call.
Fool's gold because he just got all the targets.
I got a call from New York. They're saying the Giants stock is going way down. Don't touch Richie James. Don't touch any. At this point, it's basically Saquon. That's about it. They don't have anybody. Bellinger, the tight end. No, please, no thanks. They got nobody. Get out of here with the Giants.
Like I said, Slane, you definitely still touch. He's just purely on targets and receptions.
I want Slayton. I want Slayton on my bench in a heartbeat. I put him on my bench. I don't know about flexing him or starting him, but bench for sure.
He's just such a lock for 6+ catches week in and week out.
Oh, Kirk Cousins, but but not Justin Daniel, not Justin Jefferson. JJ is HOF good. Okay. He is scrumdiddlyumptious. All right. Yeah, get that Dr. Pepper back out there. All right. So anybody else, I'm like, and then Dalvin Cook too. Dalvin's a beast, but everybody else is Thielen.
I was actually just going to say, I'm curious. I don't know how good Dalvin Cook still is. Just because he's not the offense anymore.
Yeah, but you can say it about Kamara too. I mean, these guys they're not as good as they were a couple years ago.
Look how bad Kamara was this week, though.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. Well, he missed a touchdown, though.
Not everybody's Derrick Henry.
Not that.
Not everybody's
I just wonder,
seventh year.
I wonder if the wear and tear got there on him, and that's why he's been pushed out of the offense so much.
Yeah,
just because they're keeping him Teflon for the playoffs.
Oh, and Hawkinson addition too. Hawkinson's helped a lot.
Oh yeah, that's kind of.
It's just crazy. I think he's run more routes as a receiver than he has as a rusher this year.
Probably. The other couple other guys too is Van Jefferson and Nico Collins.
Yes, my main man Van. The Perkins kid with the Rams, I think he'll be starting the rest of the way. I think they're going to shut Stafford. I mean, the team's done. What are they? 3-8, 3-9.
Yeah.
They're done. Allen Robinson went on IR. Who else do they have? I mean, Cooper Kupp's still out. I think two guys who are going to – and I put in a bid for him.
Atwell. Give me Tutu Atwell.
Van Jefferson, he on a Super Bowl winning team, he's like a 3 or a 4, but right now on this awful team, he's their number one guy. Okay, Jefferson
he's a 1
on a bad
team.
He's not
going to be a good one.
No, not a good.
I like Perkins' legs, and I think it opens it up for deep shots. Yeah, that's Tutu's bread and butter.
So yeah, Tutu might be a sleeper, especially a deeper, 16, 20 man.
It's gonna be 0 or like 15-point weeks. But I think Van's only ever gonna be 8. Yeah.
Feast or famine.
But Van's just gonna be mediocre.
And then when we get into running backs, enough. Yeah, absolutely. And when we get into running backs, I'll bring up Kyron Williams too. But yeah, for receivers, Van or Tutu. I don't think they're still they're going to get targets. It's they're going to put up Perkins going to put up at least 150 yards passing. I mean, any NFL quarterback other than Zach Wilson can do that. So somebody's going to get those doesn't even count anymore. Yards. So Higbee, he's it's Jefferson and Atwell. And going forward, the Rams are. I mean, they look like the Texans right now. But oh well.
I am interested to see what it'll look like if Higbee's healthy.
For sure.
With Perkins in, because that was a big part of last week for Van Jefferson was Higbee wasn't there.
Yeah.
I haven't done this all year because moving on up. Yeah. Van Jefferson, he is moving on up. He's moving up the depth chart, baby. Any more receivers, Jay?
We lost them.
We lost? Oh, do I have to start the running backs then?
No. Bert, go away.
Where you at? Where you at?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I don't know what happened here. Oh, maybe
he's a disembodied voice.
I'm here.
There he is.
Yep. I have a foolish cat around my computer.
He saw ghosts like Sam Darnold.
Nope, I'm still here, guys. Okay, so just recap. Van Jefferson, probably Zay Jones.
Yes, Zay. Yes. He's stepping. His stock's going up. Yep.
What about Elijah Moore? Yes or no?
No, not until I see a bigger sample size that he's going to be more involved. No.
Okay.
Pass.
I think that kind of covers. So Zay Jones, Van Jefferson, he was out there. Would you drop Tyler Boyd for Elijah Moore?
No. I think Tyler Boyd, because he's still going to, you know what, if you're in a pinch, dude, you got an injury, maybe a bye coming up these next 2 weeks, and Boyd is still, he put up a 150-yard game earlier in the year. He's still capable of putting up a 100-yard game. He can't do it consistently. He's not Higgins and Chase, but, if you, in a pinch, he's like Dalton. Like Andy Dalton can kind of put 25, 30 points up in a pinch maybe. Boyd's the same guy. Same situation. So keep on the bench. Don't. Go ahead, Jay.
We dropped Tyler Boyd for Zay Jones.
Ooh,
yes, because if Jamar Chase is back.
If Jamar Chase is back, if Chase is going to come back in the next week or two, yes, I pick up Zay. Yeah, I pick up Zay Jones and I drop Boyd. But if Chase is going to be out a little bit longer, I keep with Boyd because he's still the number 2 guy until Chase.
Or if Mixon, I would also say if Mixon's back, I'd also probably take Zay Jones over.
It does sound like Chase will be playing this week, so it sounds like it more likely sounds like he will be playing this week. Would you guys take Zay Jones over Duvernay?
Yeah, Duvernay hasn't done much. He popped at the beginning of the year. He hasn't done much lately. Zay Jones' stock is going up. Yeah, absolutely.
And even Demarcus Robinson, who had the breakout game a week ago, looked like garbage. I am done with Baltimore's offense outside of Lamar. And Mark Andrews.
Done with Mark Andrews too?
And Mark Andrews. Let's be real. No
you must be getting late.
About Mark. No,
you're drunk on that. You're drunk on that Dr. Pepper. You must be getting late.
I did have one more waiver guy for us to bring up. For as long as Mike Williams is still out.
Yep.
And that's DeAndre Carter coming off.
How is he guys, how is DeAndre Carter still available? How is that possible? The man has just been he's been beast. He's been putting up better numbers than Keenan and Josh Palmer.
You know what's bad? I actually had him bench in a league or so of mine. I'm like, fuck, man. I didn't know how
20 or 21 points. Yeah.
Yep. It is. If that kind of covers most of our wide receivers, it's the running backs here. There's a few of them in here.
One more, and we'll touch on it with the running backs more.
Yeah.
If CMC's hindered at all this week, Juwan Jennings, with all the injuries they had in the backfield, broke out with a big game, 7 targets, caught 6 of them, caught a touchdown. Debo's been banged up.
Yeah.
And he's only like
Debo,
he's like 4% rostered, so that has to change.
if Debo was right, if Debo was 100%, which he's not, Debo would be getting all these targets and attempt. I mean, he would basically take over the running back role while CMC's out, and Elijah Mitchell might be out for the rest of the year too.
Yeah, it sounds like he's done for the year.
Jennings might not. You might be onto something. You're either on something or onto something, Chad. I think you're onto something. I think Jennings might be a crafty pickup there.
Yeah. All right. So let's hit in. So some of the running backs here I got listed. I got Ty Johnson, Zonovan Knight, Benny Snell, Jordan Mason, or Davis Price. We got some Hasty and Jamichael Hasty. And then maybe some Kyren Williams up in there.
Kyren Williams. I called it. I said it on this show. We need the rewind button from like week 8 or something. I said by week 13, Kyren Williams will be the leading running back with the Rams. And damn it, he's the number 1 back with the Rams. I don't care how bad they are. I don't care how bad Cam Akers is. Kyren Williams is the man. He's not the second coming of Todd Gurley or anything like that. Yeah. But, if you're in a pinch, you're in a 16-man, have a bye, injury, something, stick that man in the flex. Okay? I'm calling it right now. And then, guys, I don't know how this is possible, guys, but in the 12-man that me and Jamie do together, Brian Robinson Jr. is available. How is this possible? How is Robinson? What idiot dropped him? Or just I don't know how. What? What's your reasoning?
Well, I the reason why I dropped him was because he wasn't really doing anything, and I had to make moves where I had to pick up somebody. So it's either drop him to pick up another waiver guy was a little bit better than Robinson.
There was that 2 to 3 week stretch where he fell apart right after he came back.
Yeah,
and everyone thought maybe this was just a feel good story and nothing more.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the offense has come to life the last few weeks. So I get it.
And this was before he was kind of a dud. That's why in those couple weeks I was like, yeah, well, he's not really doing anything. It's not going to hurt me. And he hasn't done anything or really hasn't busted out. So that's why I dropped him in a few leagues. I still got him in a couple other leagues too. So I mean, I kind of held on to him in some leagues. But yeah,
he shouldn't still be available though. Dropping him is one thing. No one picking him up is another thing.
Yeah. Yep.
I put in a bench. You damn right. He's coming right to my bench. That's where he's going. He's coming to my bench.
I want to touch on the Ty Johnson, Zonovan. I forgot what his last name is.
Knight.
Oh, Zonovan. the white knight himself.
James Robinson is still there.
Yeah, he might be there, but they're
not going to start those guys over him.
I think they will. I mean,
I don't know what the hell. I don't know if James Robinson just wants to stop.
That might be
I don't know if James Robinson just gave up on football or what, but I can't believe. I mean, you have no-name guys jumping him now on the depth chart. Ty Johnson, we haven't seen in a couple of years with it. I mean, come on now.
Well, Ty Johnson.
Robinson.
Ty Johnson's there because of his. Ty Johnson was only active because of his special teams play,
and
he's always active because of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's that. I think Robinson will be active. Zonovan probably be active just as depth, and it's just going to be a mess. If you have Robinson, then yeah, go for it. Grab Ty Johnson.
Zonovan Knight.
Get the pass.
I
assume Ty Johnson will get the passing game work.
If you had to choose from Cam Akers out of these guys, would you drop Cam Akers for his Knights, Benny Snell, all of them?
Benny, no, stop with that nonsense,
Todd Gurley.
All right, I'd do it for Benny Snell because Najee's going to be out, and I'm assuming Snell's going to get a lot of the touches and running back targets.
They had Warren too, but he wasn't really. Warren wasn't quite active.
He's been out, Jay.
Yeah, and then they had McFarland too. He was kind of he was intertwined in there
special
too.
Teams mess.
All right. Henderson, Jamichael Hasties.
Henderson Jr. or Hasty, they're kind of the same boat. I mean, it's Etienne's game if he's gonna, if he's playing this week, if the foot isn't as bad as it appeared, maybe he's limited. If he's limited, Hasty, because Hasty knows the offense better, I would say Hasty's a better pickup than Henderson Jr.
No, I think even if Etienne plays, I think Hasty may have earned not a great share, but a bigger share than he had.
Donovan Knight.
There is a name we have not mentioned. There is a very big name we have not mentioned yet. And I can't believe it hurts me to say this. But the Kansas City Chiefs picked up Mr. Melvin Gordon.
Ooh, so I can lose 4. So I can lose 4 points with him fumbling twice. Is that good? I'll get negative points with him, Chad.
If there's anyone that could fix him, I think Andy Reid could.
I don't think
you hold the ball just like this and don't let go.
I don't think Gordon's good.
Pacheco is not a goal line guy. McKinnon's not a goal line guy. Okay, I think Melvin Gordon will be that guy.
He might have a role with the team. But McKinnon's kind of been their goal line guy from what I've seen all year, and a little bit of last year too. So I think that it's a wait and see with Melvin Gordon, because he does have a negative, because you do lose points with the fumbles, and he has got a fumbling problem. He doesn't do a lot in the receiving game, and if any, he might steal a touchdown here and there, but you can't take that chance. I think the better, if you're going to talk about backs in that vein, Jerick McKinnon's a better play, because at least Jerick McKinnon is more involved.
I love McKinnon because he's going to get the volume in the receiving game.
Yeah,
I think Melvin Gordon's going to end up getting the touchdowns out of the 3 of them. Might not be many, because more often than not, if they get that close to the end zone, it's Travis Kelce's world anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think Gordon going to the Chiefs it's just going to be irrelevant for him, because you
don't add Melvin Gordon unless you want to use him.
Yeah,
they have a plan for him.
Maybe in like super deep leagues, 16, 20-man teams, possibly. But in these like 10, 12 smaller teams, no, not a chance at all. I just don't see him really do anything with the Chiefs at all. He's not going to take over, what Pacheco and, what McKinnon are doing right now.
If you have Pacheco, though, run and get him.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be in that when CEH was having, his pretty good games in the, early middle of the season there, he's going to be getting those same looks. And so, and CEH was getting a lot of 15-point fantasy games. So how the hell do you say Pacheco?
Yeah, he's got a weird name.
I think.
Pacheco, yeah. So he's going to be getting those 13-point games, those 15-point fantasy game. So I agree. Not every week, but he's a better play. Obviously, if he's available, you'd be dumb at this point not to go snag him up.
Well, and I would grab Gordon the handcuff. If he goes down, they're not giving McKinnon 100% of that.
Well, no, he wasn't 100% back with Minnesota or San Francisco either. He's never been that guy.
He's never been healthy enough.
No, he can't take that kind of beating.
I think he's healthy enough now, as what they're doing with McKinnon and Pacheco. So
right, but Pacheco gets hurt.
Yeah, if that
this
does happen,
season, you have to if Pacheco's your RB1 or 2, you're not going to get that kind of replacement on the waiver. You're not going to go get Zonovan Knight, and he's going to fill in that role rest of the season for you.
Zonovan Knight
Melvin Gordon gives you a chance rest of the season if Pacheco goes down.
He gives you a chance to get negative points. That's what he gives you a chance to. No, I'm out on Melvin Gordon. I've been out on Melvin Gordon since he left the Chargers. Okay, no, out of here.
I'm taking the slim chance that Melvin Gordon intentionally fumbled his way out of Denver.
He sabotaged Russ. Is that what you said?
All right. Well, there you got it. Take a chance on Melvin Gordon if you got him. If you want to, maybe see what happens.
Why Chad's the GOAT? That's why Chad's the GOAT.
But I'm out on Gordon.
No. Donovan made a great point. I completely forgot about that.
Ronald
because
Jones.
no one.
You think
I forgot about because he doesn't
Rojo's
exist.
he doesn't exist. Bucks ran him out. Okay, Bucks ran him out.
He
Bye.
was supposed to be
Bye-bye.
active this week. Did he do
Bye-bye.
anything?
You see, I'm leaving on a jet plane. That's Ronald Jones' career. Rojo, he's the worst player to ever have a nickname in the league. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Rojo, OJ Howard, and Otter. Why to circle back talking about the Bucks is why I'm a little worried about Rashad White. The talent's there. I just worry they're going to keep on going with the mediocre vet over him for far too long.
No, I've said it openly. I think they should cut bait with Lenny, and they should cut bait with Brady at the end of the year. I've said
Cam Brady.
Cam Brady needs to go too. Bucks,
Exactly.
yeah.
The problem is they keep holding on to those three.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to hurt White.
Yeah,
sure,
just like it hurt Rojo.
Yes,
for sure.
We agree. Tight ends, Jay.
I just had Jelani Woods, but I didn't really see anything on the waiver wire too much. You know, it's kind of a wash, really. You know,
you see anything, Chad? Yeah, there's not a lot there. Jelani Woods has had a couple good games. You know, he might be in a deeper league. He might be worth starting.
Well, if Juwan Johnson's still out there in some leagues, you know, I think he's capable of getting you at least 2, 3, well, maybe 4 catches, 50 yards, possibly. I mean, he's still kind of in the mix there a little bit. I mean,
that's 9 points. That's solid for tight end.
I don't know what the injury was. If Likely is still out,
yeah,
Josh
I think
Oliver, interesting.
Yeah, I know Oliver. He had a pretty good game too. He had a decent game. I think he had 9, 10 points or something.
He had 4 catches and a touchdown on 6 targets.
Yeah, I think that was just kind of that helps no one. He was just kind of in there for that time being, maybe just because Likely was out.
I'm very scared to say this name on Twitch. Chig Okonkwo, the Tennessee guy.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that is.
Are you making up names now, Chad?
He had a touchdown he had 5 targets for 35 yards. It's not a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Tight end, that's tight end too.
I'll conquer you. I conquer you.
And as long as Kyle Allen's at quarterback, Jordan Akins is another one.
He hasn't done. He popped against the Colts earlier in the year, I think like week 5, and it looks like everything else has been pretty.
He had 5 catches on 5 targets and a touchdown this week. He may be the favorite target of Kyle Allen. Doesn't mean much. But at tight end,
gotta talk about
at
Kyle.
At tight end, I take
Oh man.
I take Tony G off the street today over.
I'd go get Gronk off the street. You want a tight end that'll get the job done. If I'm Baltimore and damn Andrews and Likely can't get on the field, I call up Gronk. Like, you want to win a Super Bowl? Huh? You want to play with Lamar? Here you go. Make it happen. Enough of these tight. There's no tight ends out there. What about?
I'm sure Delaney Walker's out there somewhere.
Oh God. Fuck that.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
That's tight end. That's how bad it is.
It's always
not
been
Kelsey, Mark Andrews, or.
And that's the downfall too. I mean, tight ends is always going to be a wash because there's always you got those 3 top guys, and then the rest of it's just pretty much like you hope they do something, and it's always been like that.
Yeah.
And a lesser note, Hayden Hurst it's over 50%, but it's still relatively low.
Yeah.
It's 65%.
Will Disley is another guy. He's kind of getting a couple of catches, 30, 40 yards here and there.
I'm much more on Noah Fant
Noah
this season.
Yeah, I agree. I think Noah Fant's a better play.
All right.
I've been waiting. We're seeing little bits and pieces of him finally being what we thought.
Yeah, no. I think
The
that
problem is
trade,
there's 3 guys there.
this is, they were saying this on ESPN too. This might be the Herschel Walker trade of our generation, where it's a heist, where you think you're getting a superstar, but it ends up basically building a dynasty for the other team. What Seattle's going to do with those draft picks, and Fant's still a younger, he's not 30 yet. I mean, Fant's still got some years left, and Disley, that's a decent tight end combination. Geno's hasn't been playing like he did a few weeks ago, but he's still playing decent. Seattle's still in the playoff mix.
Yeah.
So I think Fant's got some potential towards the end of the year, especially with some of these injuries. And players like Dawson Knox weren't doing shit. We're screwing me over.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get to our last one thing. A couple defenses. I just put down the Browns and Packers.
Brown. Yep. Bears ain't gonna. I mean, if they're starting Nate and Peterman, oh god. Oof. Yeah, Green Bay's gonna feast on him. Yeah, Green Bay might put up a 30-point defensive week, guys, if you can get your hands on them. And then Cleveland, Houston. I think Houston's in full tank mode, so I could see them 13-point. Maybe. And Davis Mills just got benched for Kyle Allen, so Kyle Allen could have 2 picks, a fumble. You never know. Cleveland, Green Bay, you get your hands on them, and you'll probably have top 10 defenses this week. Absolutely.
Give me the Jaguars defense for the rest of the season.
All right.
Not against
the Titans twice.
Maybe after this week, but I think Detroit. I think it's going to be a shoot. I think it's going to be like a 30-27 kind of game.
It's either going to be that, or it's going to be like a 9-3 kind of game with these two teams. It always is with them.
Yeah.
But 2 matchups against the Titans. The championship week is against the Texans. Does it get any better than that?
There was beast mode, and now against the Texans, it's feast mode. So,
but yeah, I know. I don't know about the Jags, because they might be, but with them playing the Titans. The Titans are playing pretty good right now. I don't see them making too many points against the Texans, really, or not Texans, the Titans.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see.
I think, most definitely.
Yeah, with the Titans, I think Tannehill is going to play the rest of the year, so the Titans should be better. On offense, should be at least solid 20, 23 points a game, roughly. So better than what they have been. So I don't know about Jacksonville's. I was kicking the tires on them. I had them as 16-man for a few weeks, so didn't do very much for me. So Jacksonville's got a very average defense. So, but yeah, Cleveland looked good against us, and they're going to look good again against the Texans. Cleveland might be a defense you could hold on to for a few weeks. Green Bay's probably a one and done, as bad as they looked against Philly and Dallas. I think Cleveland, you could actually, if you can snag them up, you could probably hold on to them, maybe into the playoffs even. So,
yeah,
Green Bay's intriguing. Like we talked about earlier with them, the talent seems like it's there. Maybe they're finally putting it together.
Yeah, it's very possible.
It's kind of a too little, too late situation.
Yep,
who knows?
For sure. But yeah, I think.
But, I just want to point out to Mr. Nathan Peterman fan over there that the last time Nathan Peterman threw the football, he was a beautiful 3 for 5 for 25 yards.
Yeah, 2 of those passes.
Zero.
You forgot to mention 2 of those passes.
0 interceptions.
Yeah, the ball never hits the ground with Nathan Peterman, because every time it's either caught or picked.
Last game, 3 for 5, 25 yards, and 0 picks.
Ooh.
A good 2 years ago.
World's smallest violin, Chad. There you go.
I'm more. If Peterman started, I'm more worried by the fact they lost Darnell Mooney.
Yeah. And I was going to mention that quick here too.
And that's actually, we should go back to wide receivers for a second. With Mooney out, Velus Jones Jr. is a great stash.
Yeah, that or maybe
if Fields comes back.
Maybe St. Brown too. Maybe.
But all of them.
Yeah, I think
someone's going to emerge as the target.
I think
Velus has that.
Cole Kmet. Mark it down. I know he's.
Cole Kmet's. Yeah, he's fine. At the wide receiver position, Velus is kind of like Tutu Atwell.
He's a rookie
kind of
too.
the same situation.
Yeah,
he's a bad rookie.
He's a speedster. Yeah,
he's a bad rookie. He was a terrible draft pick. but he could hit the home run ball.
Yeah, but I think it'll be Claypool, Komet, and then maybe Velas and some of these
Is
other
Claypool
smaller.
owned enough? Claypool might count.
I
He
think
hasn't done shit. This man has not done a
Exactly.
damn thing. He hasn't done a damn thing since they traded for him. You know what? At this point, until proven
so
otherwise,
weird.
I'm almost gonna drop Chase Claypool if he's on my bench and I've been being patient with him, waiting for.
I don't think you can. I don't. After this week, if he's not targeted a bunch, then yes.
Yeah, he's got to go. If he doesn't, guys, if he doesn't have at least 60 yards receiving, with this putrid bear, he needs. Yeah, he got to go. Got to go situation.
It's so weird to trade for him, and they're not even giving him opportunity. It's not that he's not doing anything. He's not even on the field.
No.
Yeah.
But he might as well be hanging out with Zach Wilson in a hoodie. Shit.
So if you're gonna make that trade, it makes me think it's kind of like they're packing it in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they don't want him to get hurt.
Maybe they're shooting for next year. Maybe I mean, if they want everybody to be healthy, and maybe so maybe Chase will be a different player next year, possibly. I mean, I picked him up in a league or so, and I mean, I'm going to hold on Chase just to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, if he's not going to do anything, I mean, why hold on to him?
Especially this time of the year, it's playoff times, guy. Yeah. You need guys that are gonna put out and show out. I mean, you don't need any bums putting up 4-point games for you. Get him out of there for the playoffs.
Yep. Injury drops. Cooper Kupp, Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, Damian Harris, Elijah Mitchell.
We didn't get to talk about Ramondre's season.
Yeah.
Oh baby. I get a semi just thinking about it.
Chad, is he gonna carry you to the championship?
He might carry everyone he might carry the Patriots to the Super Bowl.
Ramondre is Pro Bowl level. I mean, he'll always be mediocre.
But yeah, you can't. These are guys that can't really drop yet, but Kareem Hunt and
Kareem Hunt you can drop
Swift.
unless you're the Chubb owner.
I mean, there's not a lot of backs out there. Be patient with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, that's why I said these guys are guys that are close to being dropped and not quite dropped. So yeah, just hang on.
I'll take it back. If he sees usage with the new QB, then maybe
he might. He might get targeted because Chubb doesn't catch a lot of. Chubb is more the straight ahead.
If it's another game like we've seen, though, he's gone.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Chubb owner.
Well, I mean, Hunt is a free agent after this season, so it's he can go anywhere next year.
Tampa, bring him. We'll make use of him. Come on down. It's warm
that'd
down
be
here.
So bad for White. That'd be so bad for White.
The Browns should have traded him off, but I don't think I've seen Kareem Hunt coming back next year. So.
They wanted too much, Jay. Eagles were trying to snag him up to team him up with Sanders, and they couldn't get. Browns wanted too much for him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's a good thing they did. They don't need him. Look at what the Eagles did this week with the trio.
Yeah, you have a running back. You have a running back and a quarterback all in one. You don't need you got Sanders and Hurts. You don't even need another. Yeah, I agree. You don't need another running back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've actually run about almost 30 minutes over, but I mean, we had a good
show. Who cares?
We had a great show. I mean, Chad, I'm glad you were able to actually get on with us. We actually had a great show, man. I mean, I'm happy you joined us. We had some great conversations. We had some good debates.
Somehow my coughing stopped long enough to get through this show.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's great, though. I mean, we appreciate it. You're actually our first guest of the season. So
just hit that chest a couple times, Chad. You'll be all right.
And it looks like the Mavs are going to hold on here with 7 seconds left, so I win that bet I told you about, Jamie.
Oh yeah. They were.
Luka have a big game.
Probably. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, you could say so. 41 points, 12 assists, 10 rebounds in only
Oof.
39 minutes.
Triple-double in 39 minutes. Ooh.
Holy crap!
Oof.
Yeah,
Oof.
look
And
at
I wanted to go see, for Eli's sake, what my boy Killian Hayes. It was not much of a game, but Beef Stew, Beef Stew's back and had a good game.
Well, you know what? You know what, Chad? I think you know what. You're welcome to come on anytime. I think we need a Friday night or like a Tuesday dedicated to a lot of fantasy basketball. Maybe do a 50-50 show. And I think we'd have a lot of fun with that. I think we could do a hybrid show. But
To fill you in, when me and Jamie were waiting for you, I looked at the scores and the Mavs were up like 20-6.
Yeah, they
halfway
were.
through the second. So I live bet them, and then
Nice.
the whole second half, the Warriors have been within 2. So I've been sweating it the entire show.
I see the perspiration coming up your sweater, right? Yeah,
Just let you know, the Pistons did in fact lose by 30.
Holy shit!
That's the bad news. That's the bad news. But they did score 110 points. Oh wait, that's bad news too.
They gave up 140 points.
40 points to the Knicks.
Jesus tits.
Actually, that makes who the hell blew up for the Knicks?
But I mean, it doesn't help because Cunningham's been out for the
Randle.
Julius Randle.
35, 7, and 5. Oh.
There's no hope. There's no hope. You just got to wait for the lottery, Chad.
Pistons need to go get Bull so he can block some shots for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Eric loves Julius Randle.
Crazy.
Man.
Yeah. Well, guys. I think that kind of wraps up our show. I gotta get my ass to work. So, but yeah, Chad. Anytime you feel like you want to jump on with us, man, come in, hop on with us. Just let me know ahead of time.
Absolutely.
And
I gotta get my ass back to working over on the twitch.tv/Palazzo podcast soon enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully this cough finally clears up.
Yeah,
get that Mucinex going, Chad.
Oh no, it's a dry cough, so it's probably a post-COVID cough, which means it ain't going anywhere.
I know the Heimlich, Chad. I'll come in. I'll take double fisted. I'll beat it out of you.
That's a completely different motion over there, bud. I know I'm on the bottom right now, but let's watch where those hands
go. Chad, I think you know who Donovan is. He's Curly Z28, I believe it is.
If he's not you, and I don't know.
Well, he comments quite a bit in Discord. He's pretty active in there.
I'm too big time for the people in the Discord.
Oh, so you're saying you're a Govier now?
I'm a Hollywood guy, you know.
Govier, he's big ticket. You're the ticket stub.
I precede Govier. I'm old school. I was doing podcasts before they were podcasts. I used to be the guy for the local newspaper. They had a call-in show for pro wrestling, where you could get pro wrestling.
Oh, you do wrestling? You do wrestling too, Chad? We got to get you back on. We got to talk some wrestling too.
Do you remember those back in the day? You'd have the local newspaper. You call in, they tell you all the match results from the recent shows.
Nope, I don't remember that.
A little before I don't know. No, I don't, but I remember calling 1-800 numbers to talk to Miss Cleo and to talk to porn stars. I do remember those though.
No, 1-900 was the porn stars.
Oh, damn! All right, I think it's getting a little bit. I think that's.
I won't forget your name, Donovan McNabb. Don't worry.
Oh, ouch!
Oh, nickname. Here we go.
All right, guys. We had ourselves. We had ourselves a nice, lovely live stream tonight. We appreciate you, Chad. It was great having you on the show for our first guest of the season.
Bless you, Chad. Yes, thank you.
Yes,
absolutely. It's a long time coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. Govier hasn't got me on his show yet. But yeah, I'll
Yeah, I
still
gotta
rag at
talk
him.
to him. I'll talk to him and try to get both of us on.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, that'll be totally
It'll
great
be a
for
straight
sure.
hour of us making fun of you, though.
Yeah, probably would. Hey, I honestly I don't really care. You know.
Jamie can throw jabs with the best of them. He'll hang in there. He'll get
So I do want to say one thing that I've talked a lot to you about the improvements you've made this year. Where you are at both of you, even at this point, is night and day. You guys act and look like true pros now. In
Oh,
Eli's
thanks,
case,
thanks, man.
it's a street pro in Eli's case, but
Well, hey, it's all that tequila.
but no, you guys are doing good
My
work
vitamins.
here, and that's why I was willing to come on.
No,
I
we
don't come on
appreciate.
for just any two schmucks. Only schmucks I like.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
We do
absolutely.
what we can. I mean, we want to improve a lot more too. That's for sure. I mean, it's one of those. It's
The internet quality helped a lot in the improving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Well, I bumped up my internet just the other day, so that kind of helped a little bit, and I kind of hardwired in tonight. So, but yeah, no, we totally appreciate it, Chad. We
Absolutely.
um,
And next time I'll prepare more.
yeah, and that's why I was trying to give you a little bit more heads up too, a little bit on what just kind of give you an idea so you can
No,
kind
it's
of
fine. I went down a Law and Order YouTube wormhole for 3 hours before the show instead of doing research.
uh, yeah,
For some
yeah,
reason,
no,
in my likes was like clips from like the original season of Law and Order back in the early '90s, and
90s, yeah.
it
Yeah.
just kept going and going. I'm like, do I have to go to work? No.
Right.
All right, another video. Do I have to look up stats now? No, another video.
Yeah.
And then it was time to join. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I was actually working on edits. I was actually just kind of looking at some, waiver wire guys that might help out, and yeah, it's been good. I appreciate it though. I mean, I kind of still want to. Kind of want to cover into little, little draft prospects a little bit here and there. I mean, just kind of some, maybe get a little bit closer. Just a few other things I want to kind of cover. Just kind of end of season
I'll
stuff
get
a little bit.
Maybe in a week or two, I'll get you a list you can put on the screen at some point.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's for sure. I mean,
Break
yeah.
out the prospects. I'm sad we didn't get to talk about my boy at any point today. But I do like to slobber and drool whenever we talk about Bijan Robinson.
My leg's going numb. That means it's time for the show to end.
Uh-oh.
The best running back prospect since Willis McGahee.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as I don't break his leg.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I kind of want to. So in future reference, guys, I kind of want to talk about draft prospects. Maybe and where some of these guys might affect when it comes to fantasy season and stuff like that. So just just a few things like that for future reference. Just kind of break down teams and divisions and stuff like that a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm heading with this a little bit. So give some good kind of break down the the teams and stuff like that a little bit. So I mean, me and Eli did a little bit of that in the earlier, some of our earlier streams a little bit. We kind of broke down some of the divisions and stuff like that. We kind of just
I'm
went
sure
by.
there'll be a lot of prospect talk the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
I'm sure Eli's going to want to talk about all the college football stuff next week.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. Yeah, heavy college football after we figure out the playoffs and the high the Heisman 3-4 guys that'll be up there, and yeah, plenty of college football next week.
But Jamie, let's wrap this up before you lose your job.
Yeah, we're good.
He's his own boss. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're get up out of here. Maybe tune in next Friday. I'm not sure what we got going on for next Friday, but we'll surely let you know.
This Friday.
Yeah, sorry. Well, yeah, this Friday. My bad. Whichever. But yeah, we'll get up out of here. Have a good Tuesday on the waiver wires. Hopefully you guys get who you guys need, and yeah, have fun. I'm Jamie. That's Eli. Chad, thank you for joining us. We are up out of here.
Zone of the night. Zone of the night.
You're in love with that name, aren't you?
Damn right.
All right, guys. I gotta get up. I gotta piss out all this Dr. Pepper I've been drinking. I'll catch you
Alrighty.
guys
Later.
later.
Have a good one.